Hey guys, welcome back to Tri-State Fishing. Today we're going to talk about at least 4 baits that'll help you catch a lot more bass this spring, and especially in the pre-spawn. Water temperature is up over 50 degrees. These baits will start working as soon as the water temperature hits 50. And I might share with you a fifth lure that will really wreck them this time of year. I haven't decided if I want to share that juice yet or not. We'll find out toward the end of this video. After I share those baits with you, I'm going to give you some fishing reports for the area lakes here in northwest Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, and southern Missouri. We'll go over some fishing reports for those lakes. They're basically all the same right now. Right now, we'll start out with some lures that's going to help you catch a lot of fish, the bigger fish, during this time of year. Today is April 10th, 2022. The water should be warmer than it is right now. We're a week or two behind. We keep having some cold fronts come in and cooling the water back off. The water will get up to 56, 58 degrees. We'll have a cold front and it'll put it back down in the low 50s. But needless to say, once water hits 50 degrees, I'm tying on a buzzbait. This is a True Faith custom baits buzzbait. You can find them on Facebook. That dude has the right sound right straight out of the package. This one I've used a bunch, and I've about got it wore out. But that buzzbait, as soon as that water temperature hits 50 degrees, throw that buzzbait and just barely reel it fast enough for it to stay on top. That blade won't be turning very fast at all. It'll just be on top, and you will catch a lot of 3, 4, 5 pound class fish. Throw it in the same places you're throwing the crankbaits and the jerkbaits on the same banks. Because those fish right now are moving up into the staging areas in the front of the spawning coves. Throw that buzzbait right up there against the bank and slowly reel that thing back. You're going to catch some big ones. Throw it at a 45-degree angle or parallel the bank with it, and it works really, really well. Another bait is a whopper plopper type bait. It could be the whopper plopper brand, it could be the Berkeley brand, doesn't matter. That whopper plopper, you can reel it extremely slow as well, or twitch it, and they're going to come up and nail it. Those bigger fish seems to like those top waters this time of year for some reason. A lot of people's throwing a jerkbait and a crankbait. They're seeing a ton of those right now, jerkbaits and crankbaits, and they're not seeing that top water. And that slow top water will flat do the trick. Another bait that they don't see very often that I like to use this time of year when the water temperature gets over 55 is the little tiny torpedo. That single prop, it doesn't make a whole lot of noise on the top, and you can just twitch it real slow, and they'll come up there and inhale that thing. It's not as big as a devil's horse. I don't throw that devil's horse till the water temperature gets a little closer to 60. But that tiny torpedo, you can work it real slow and keep it right there in their face, and they'll come up and hit it. Another bait that I will throw from now through the spawn is a popping style bait. This is a 6 cents bait. You can use a normal old popper or any of the poppers that you prefer. I got this 6 cents in one of their bags that they send every month. I'm looking forward to trying it out. But that popper, you can just practically keep it in one spot, just barely twitching it, and it'll pop a little bit and just twitch and kind of walk. And it works great right over the top of the bed. When you see fish on the bed, you can work that right over the top of the bed and just almost keep it right in place. And those fish can't stand it, and they will come up and get it. Yeah, those 4 topwaters right there, they just, like I said, the bass don't see them much this time of year, or if any. They're throwing weightless worms, they're throwing weightless Cincos, they're throwing the split shot rig. I mean, they're seeing all kinds of worms and jigs and that kind of thing. But try a topwater. As soon as that water hits 50 degrees, try a topwater. I guess I'm going to let this bag out of this out of the bag. I don't know if I should or not, because I catch a lot of big bass this way. And some of you may beat me in a tournament with it sometime. The long A bomber. Use it as a weight bait this time of year. Get you find a red hook with a red feather on it, put it on that back hook. That is a killer. That, just barely reel it slow and just barely reel it enough to make it move. Don't let it go under the water. Let the back end of this thing stay moving on top of the water. I mean, you're reeling it extremely slow. They can't stand it. They can't stand it at all. The rattles and that. That's some juice right there. You need a long A bomber this time of year with that red feather on the back and red hook. Just barely reel it until they reel it. Use it from now until the time they get on the bed, maybe a little bit after they get on the bed. I usually switch over to that popper though. Whenever it's popper or tiny torpedo, when they get on the bed, or even the devil's horse. I didn't bring one of those out, but I think most of y'all probably know what a devil's horse is. I'll be bringing a devil's horse out and showing you in another video coming. But those baits right there will catch you a lot of nice quality bass when the water's in the 50s, when everybody else is throwing the jerkbait and crankbait. Like I said, throw them on the same banks that you would that jerkbait and crankbait. I use a medium heavy rod. That way it's not too stiff. You don't jerk the hooks out of the fish's mouth. Gives them time to get it in their mouth good. But those 5 baits right there will get you a lot of fish during the pre-spawn and spawn. Alright, we're going to go into the lake reports now. Table rock, bull shoals, beaver, tin killer, Uchi, grand, all of those. Table or Norfolk, all of those is fishing pretty much the same right now. You can throw crankbait, rock crawlers, wiggle warts, jerkbaits. Table rock's having a lot of really nice fish coming on the jerkbait right now. I've seen some Facebook photos and videos done by Mike McClellan on Table Rock, and he caught 2 fish together the other day with one cast, and both of them was nice smallmouth. But you can use that jerkbait, crankbait, those baits that we just talked about. Swimbaits is working good as well. The bait fish and fish are starting to move up in all the lakes. They're found, from the bank out to 15 foot of water. They seem to be better on the secondary points. They're getting off the main lake points quite a bit and then moving back to the secondary points and getting ready to move back here on those flats to spawn. Fish those staging areas. Back in those creeks. Get back in there to the last deep water in a creek, and on one of those secondary points, on the last deep water in the back of those spawning pockets, and they'll be there. Anywhere out to 15 foot of water. Put your boat out there in about 20 foot of water and cast up to the bank and bring it back out to the boat. You'll find you some good fish. Like I said, all the lakes in this area is fishing basically the same right now. The fish is going back and forth because of the cold fronts. Find you some rock piles, some brush piles, and work those baits over those, and throw a jig in there too, a True Faith Custom Baits jig, and hold on. Especially with the living rubber. True Faith Custom Baits makes living rubber jigs along with the silicone skirted jigs, and they have all different sizes. They got football jigs, they got brush head jigs, they've got archy head jigs, they got round jigs, round head jigs. They can, anything that you want, they can get you covered. The crappie fishing on the lakes right now, they're all fishing really well. Crappie and white bass are moving. They're still catching walleye up in the rivers. On beaver up toward the Twin Bridges. They're really tearing up the white bass and still some walleye and crappie. But crappie fishing's on fire on these lakes right now. Go to obsessiontackle.com and find all your crappie fishing needs. They got heads, they got the plastics, they got everything. So check out obsessiontackle.com for your crappie fishing needs. Haven't heard anything about catfish, or I haven't been catfishing or bluegill fishing. It's not quite that warm yet. Once the water hits 60 degrees, bluegill start getting a little more active, and we take the kids catch some big bluegill. And I'll have a video of at least three of my kids and grandkids all having a boat with me. And, not at one time, but I'll have them with me, and there'll be some cool videos. This is a family fun fishing show here. I'm not just going to stay with one species. I'm going to let you know about all species and let you see some family fun, let you see some tournament fishing. I'll have my cameras going on while I'm fishing tournaments. While I'm out free fishing. So we're going to have a good time. Thanks again for watching the show. Click subscribe down there and hit the little bell so you'll know every time one of my videos comes up. I'm going to make at least one a week to put on for you to watch. And sometimes maybe two. Depends how much time I have, but there'll be at least one a week. And y'all have a great week, and get ready to go wet a line. Have a great day.